Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I finally finished Yoshi and the Mysterious Book on the Nintendo Switch 2, and after spending a good amount of time with it, I wanted to give my full thoughts and review on the game. I already made a first impressions video when I started playing it, but now I've kind of had the full experience. I feel like I can probably talk about what works, what doesn't, and whether or not I think it's worth playing. So let's start with the gameplay. Gameplay wise, this is definitely more of a relaxing platformer than a difficult one. You actually can't fully die in this game, so even if Yoshi falls, you'll still come back. The game is heavily focused on exploration and experimentation, so the game doesn't always directly tell you what to do in each level, because the whole point is you're learning about these mysterious creatures and figuring out their abilities yourself. One thing I really enjoyed was how relaxing it felt. Never felt overwhelmed by playing. I could take my time, leave and come back later, revisit older worlds and just explore at my own pace. The focus here is exploration, collecting, puzzle solving and discovering secrets hidden throughout the levels, rather than intense difficulty. There were so many moments where I found myself replaying sections just because I wanted to see what I missed the first time round. Your main goal throughout the story is eventually discovering a creature called the Bewilder Bird before Bowser Jr. and Kamek do. Okay, so let's now talk about the performance. Performance-wise, for the most part, the game ran really smooth, especially for a Switch 2. I still noticed the occasional small jitter here and there, but honestly, it was nothing major enough to ruin the experience. I have seen people mention smearing or DLSS style artifacts around Yoshi and some of the other characters, especially in handheld mode. I played the game both docked and handheld. Handheld mode definitely looks a little softer compared to docked mode, where the image is much clearer overall. But from my experience, it wasn't something that affected the game for me in a negative way. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about things that I kind of didn't like or kind of left me disappointed. And to be honest, compared to my first impressions, this game did end up leaving me a little disappointed. The biggest criticism I have is that there are only 2 chapters and the ending felt very underwhelming. When I first reached Bowser's castle, I genuinely thought the game was about to open up into an even bigger section with more levels or maybe some kind of story twists. Then the credits rolled again, and that was basically it. I honestly thought there would be more pages added to the book afterwards, so the ending felt kind of surprisingly abrupt. Apparently, there are multiple endings depending on what you do, which is interesting because to me, it doesn't feel like it's difficult enough to achieve perhaps the ending that you want. As for difficulty, the only part of the game that really I would say pass as a challenge was the final battle, because I actually had a timer that I needed to do it in. And there was a moment where I genuinely got a little frustrated because I couldn't figure out which creature I was supposed to use. But thankfully, I still managed to complete it on my first try before the timer ran out. So overall, I do think some players may find the game a little too easy, especially if you prefer faster paced or more difficult platformers. But at the same time, I think the relaxing atmosphere is exactly what makes the game appealing. So finally, before we end today's video, I just wanted to say that overall I still really enjoyed Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I honestly hope Nintendo adds some kind of DLC or extra pages to the book in the future, because I really enjoyed the world and just wanted more of it by the end. I also don't think this game is trying to be the hardest or most groundbreaking platformer ever. It's trying to be charming, relaxing, creative and accessible to all. So I honestly think it succeeds at that really well. It's the kind of game you can sit down with after a long day and just enjoy without feeling stressed. And honestly, I think games like that are important too. Not every game needs to be difficult and not every game will appeal to everyone. It all depends on what you enjoy as a player. So listen, if you're a fan of Yoshi and Yoshi games or any type of relaxing exploration focused games, I do honestly think there's a good chance you'll definitely enjoy this. Personally though, unless you're a huge Yoshi fan, I'd probably recommend waiting for a sale. But let me know in the comments below if you have played Yoshi and the Mysterious Book and if you agreed on any of my thoughts, or perhaps you wanted to add anything that you may have noticed that I have not mentioned in this video. Also, before you go, if you really enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Catch you all again soon. Bye.